Welcome back to the channel, you guys. My name is Claire Omutoni. I'm your host for today's show on the 27th of June 2026. And we have latest news from Manchester United. Let's get to Manchester United transfer news. And also, I have someone texted me and said, Claire, can you do a comparison between our favorite manager and our least favorite manager? That's like Manchester United. And we all know our favorite our favorite is obviously Sir Alex Ferguson, and I'll let you guys guess which is our least favorite. So before I get into this video, let me remind you to like, subscribe, and also share, you know, if you care, so that we can be a family, we can reconnect. All right, you guys, without further ado, let's get into today's show. Now, the summer window transfer has officially opened. But obviously, we've been talking about this. We've been like the frustration is too much. Manchester hasn't done anything. They haven't announced anything. If you go to their official account, nothing is being talked about. Not advanced talks. Not any deal. Nothing is really like going on. But now they have opened this summer transfer, and now the club is working away, some major deals for most clubs, almost like planning to enter into the next season, which will kick off in August. Let's remember this. But also, Manchester United transfer plans have hit a huge obstacle, and their top target midfielder is slipping away slowly by slowly. And by this, I mean they are not putting money into this transfer. And West Ham is like, you know what? We have we have a deal. We have someone who most clubs are looking for, and we'll get money from him. But now United doesn't want to offer a lot of money because let's face it, we don't have the strongest team to deal with, the league, obviously, the Premier League, but also Champions League, because Michael Carrick came in, he qualified us for Champions League, but we do not have enough squad. Yes, we have 11, but what if they get injured? What is going to happen? What if Sene Lamens in the goalkeeping position gets injured? Who do we have on the list? What if Bruno gets injured or gets sick? What are we going to do? You know, so I feel like Manchester United is in a tight position, but also they need to be realistic with themselves. And they have been linked with several players like Mateus, Fernandez from West Ham, as I just said, Enzo Fernandez, and Ederson Jose Santos. But also, there are rumors. For now, I'm calling them rumors because the sources from United haven't confirmed them. The rumors are they're looking to explore a connection or a future with Chouameni from Real Madrid. We've been talking about this, but it's going to keep being a speculation. It's going to keep being, he say, because really nothing is being really talked about. And the window transfer is about to close in a few days. I mean, obviously to close somehow for the season to kick off, but they haven't announced anything. Well, it's about t-shirts, it's about tickets, it's about nothing like official about the new signings. But now United are claiming to be facing stiff competition from Tottenham, because now Tottenham is now racing United. They're like, okay, you know what? If you don't want Mateus Fernandez, we can get this guy. Okay, so the Portuguese international is among several players linked with a switch to United, along with Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest has Elliot Anderson, and I feel like Manchester hasn't really given up on Elliot Anderson. And one thing I have to tell you, people watching from home, these people from United and all these news that are linking players to United, we might get shocked. We might get shocked with news of our lives, like, because the way they are quiet about it, the way they are not confirming anything, they look like someone, when you have a priority in your life, like you know what you want, but then people around you keep telling you, Claire, you need this, but you just know what should need in your life. So I feel like Manchester United is going to shock us. And also, they're tracking, when like coming back to transfer news, they're tracking the Mexican wonder kid called Gilberto Mora. Gilberto Mora is a 16-year-old and is being scouted by Manchester United, and he has impressed. You know, he impressed people in the World Cup. Imagine a 16-year-old playing in the World Cup and actually shining. Now the club is like, you know what? This could be a good project. This could be a good project to come to Old Trafford. The youngster is viewed as one of North America's brightest talents, although several European clubs are also interested. Gilberto, actually, his names, he has like four names. You know, like kids after 2000s, they have like five, six names. And it's not different from Mora. His names are Gilberto Rafael Mora Zambrano. He's one of the most exciting young footballers in the world because obviously he was born in October 2008 as a kid in Mexico, and he plays for obviously Mexico the national team. And you know, he was shining. He shined during World Cup, and now United plus other European clubs are very interested. And let me just dive into something else. Let's leave the transfer news there because now it's just speculations, really. Nothing is confirmed. We will just talk about this until they confirm something because they have to do. They will have to confirm if they're signing anyone or not. So, you know, let's pivot to something else, something more interesting, something more fun. We all know Sir Alex Ferguson, and we also know Amorim, Ruben Amorim. To me personally, I didn't hate Amorim so much. I feel like he was under different circumstances, but boy, oh boy, did this guy disappoint us. He disappointed us. Now we're going to talk about history of Ruben Amorim in Manchester United, and I feel like most of you people, when it comes to like numbers and what he did, is unclear. He was appointed in November, 1st November of 2024, and started officially also in November, but 11th after leaving Sporting Club. His first match was on 24th of November. He drew away to Ipswich Town. Like his first game was a draw, 1-1. Okay. And then he left Manchester United 5th of January 2026. That's like after I earned some few months. And one day after that draw with Leeds United, that's when he left. But let's get to his statistics. Someone, when you put a poll up, maybe on Twitter or anything, and you ask who is your least favorite manager of all time from United, people will say Ruben Amorim. The guy himself didn't look like a bad character, but on the court, he felt like it felt like he didn't understand the chemistry. Okay, he played 63 matches. He won 24. He drew 18 and lost 21 games. And his winning percentage was 38.1. It was one of the lowest wins, one of the lowest win rates of any permanent club manager in the history of Premier League. Okay, and then this was by far the toughest spell for obviously Premier League. United finished 15th. Okay, and the worst league finish in more than 50 years. Imagine 50 years back. That's how long it took Manchester United to end the season. I mean, at 15. That's when he left. They brought in Michael Carrick. This guy, you know, even if he didn't do a lot, but there was a bright side to him because he guided United all the way to the Europa League final in Bilbao, but obviously we lost. Yes, we got to a final, but lost to Tottenham 1-0. And he brought in like quite new players who were very good, like Benjamin Sesko, Brian Bemo, and Mateus Cunha. So it wasn't all bad for him, But now let's talk about our favorite manager. Okay, let's talk about Sir Alex Ferguson. Guy was always chewing gum because I remember in primary we used to have this teacher, math teacher. He was very tough, but when he wanted to like be soft and be a nice guy, and he would see you chewing, he would be like, "Are you now Ferguson? Are you now becoming Ferguson?" So it was like it was a reference to him because this guy was always chewing. Okay, now this Ferguson, ha, bro, let me tell you, he was in this position for 26 years. Not a single manager in Premier League history has ever been a manager for a club for 26 years. That alone is immense. It is like mind blowing. So he was appointed on November. In November, he retired on 19th May 2013, and he was in charge for 26 years, as I just said, and 26 years and 194 days. Okay, he played well. He managed 1,500 games, 1,500 games. Okay, and he won 895 games. He drew 338, and he only lost 267 games in 1,500 games. He only lost 267, and his winning rate was 59, which wasn't bad really. And he won a lot of trophies. Okay, he won 13 Premier League titles, and Manu is the most decorated club in history of Premier League. Argue with your friends because facts are facts. And I know people from other clubs are like punching the air. I know. I mean, it's United. Come on. We won 13 titles with Sir Alex Ferguson. Okay. And we won 5 FA Cups. We won 5 League Cups. We won 10 Community Shields. And he won 2 UEFA Champions League. And then UEFA Cup winners, 1. UEFA Super Cup, 1. And 1 Intercontinental Cup plus FIFA Club World. He won 1 FIFA Club World Cup, obviously. So all those titles in 26 years, yeah, it feels like the right number, the right amount of numbers. But Sir Alex Ferguson is known to like trust youth and develop them because David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Gary Neville, he's now a commentator, he's now a pundit. Phil Neville and then Nicky Butt, all those names, like the strong names, they were under Sir Alex Ferguson's development. And these academy graduates became backbones of, football greatest history because if they are not pundits, they're football legends, okay? And some of the biggest stars under Ferguson include Ronaldo, yeah, Wayne Rooney, Roy Keane, Eric Cantona, and Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic, and then Edwin van der Sar. I could talk about Sir Alex Ferguson day and night, hours and hours. Okay, I could describe this guy because there is no Manchester United without Sir Alex Ferguson in the conversation. Okay, but this brings me to the end of today's show. I had fun doing this. It was a blissful. And before I leave, obviously I have to remind you to be part of the family, be part of us. Let's connect, let's be a family. Click the subscribe button, click the like, share if you like, if you care, and I'll see you in the next one.